Okay, we're live. Welcome back to another Monday morning mentoring. In this video, I'm going to tell you what I think is the number one. Well, let's say it's non-mindset related, but it's the number one thing that is holding people back from achieving their goals. Peak performance goals, for you to be able to show up at your best day in, day out, feeling your best, looking your best. I think this is the number one issue that is holding people back. And as you can tell, maybe this really gets me fired up. I remember working with a client decades ago, and we were trying to dial in a couple of things that were going on. And they kept asking, so what are you eating? And, oh, I have a really healthy diet. And they would give me a little log. But the thing that was missing is the type of food. And so I gave you a little hint there. So before I get into what it is, if you don't know me already, I am Stefana. I'm the founder of Yogilachi. And I like to say I help energize and help revitalize leaders and busy executives so that they drop the extra weight, they get healthy, they build anti-fragile confidence, and they perform at their highest level day in, day out. That is what I love to do, and it is my mission in life to bring true health and inspire true health for people here who have their own mission to accomplish, and they need to be able to perform at that highest level. And so, all right, you ready for this? This, to me, is the number one roadblock that is stopping people from reaching their goals, including me, including my own children, my teens who love this, okay? And just FYI, this ranking is based on 30 years now being in the industry, my personal experience, my experience with my clients, but there is plenty of science around this topic to back it up, okay? Here's the number one action. It is, should we get a drum roll? It's eating the ultra-processed foods. And I have to say ultra-processed because to define this now, the ultra-processed foods, what I mean is the packaged foodstuffs, frozen or prepared meals, right? How many times have we reached in the freezer for a prepared meal? Instant noodles, soups. We can go into all the baked goods, all right? Baked goods like pizzas, cakes, cookies, packaged breads, all right? I was talking to a client who went over to Europe, and they ate all kinds of foods, delicious breads, but those breads were not ultra processed. They were baked fresh from fresh ground wheat, and it's very, very different. Here in America, we are eating so many ultra processed foods. Think about your breakfast cereals, breakfast package in a, even waffles now, they're packaged and processed. Chips, crackers, any kind of processed packaged foodstuffs. Even getting lunch meat, someone was saying they were having, oh, well, they had turkey. So awesome, is it fresh turkey? It's like, no, it's processed packaged turkey stuff. It's basically smushed together byproducts, not real meat, right? Sodas, that is definitely a processed drink. And energy drinks, sugary substitutes, things that are, right? This is what I'm talking about. I think more than 80% of most typical grocery stores now comprise of ultra processed foods. They're foodstuffs. They're not even real food. Okay, it's quite a list, right? And what's interesting is that there was this research I was reading about how before the pandemic, more than half of our daily calories came from the ultra processed foods. More than half of our daily calories. That's frightening. Now, I think that number is probably much higher after the pandemic because our habits have changed. I know even for myself, there were some days where it's just like, I can't do this. Like, I need a break. And go get the frozen pizzas from Costco. And maybe because they're gluten-free, I could feel a little better, but it's feel awful afterwards. And that is the side effect. I mean, that is really, it is a huge problem, but think about why it's a problem, because they contain less fiber. Maybe if it says high fiber, it's added excipients, which are not healthy. It's not real fiber, like fibrous, imagine eating a fresh salad, fresh fibrous salad, how different you would feel, right? Or how depleted in vitamins and minerals. I don't care how many synthetic vitamins are pumped into it. It's missing so much of real nutrition. And this is kind of those, not to mention the unhealthy added sugars, right? Added salts, added oils, added vegetable oils. We know that those are causing massive inflammation. Okay, so I could go on. You can tell I'm riled up about this because it is the number one issue time and time again. And I do hear, I mean, it's like, I eat a healthy diet. Even I, and that this is what I practice, and I can say, yeah, I eat a healthy diet. Let me look at 100% of my week. How much percentage is from a package? And sadly, it's too high. And I'm not even myself reaching my goals. And I know that is why. So this is one of those things where we have to realize this with my kids. You know, I'll have a bite of their pizza and I feel like garbage, but guess what? I crave more of it. It didn't nourish me, certainly didn't nourish my boys, but they want more of it. So they can eat a giant pizza themselves and they're still hungry, but they feel like garbage. They feel blah, bloated, right? So I'm telling you this because I want you to understand that you're not in this alone, and I get it. This is what I do professionally, and I still understand this struggle. So this isn't about a blame. It's just really understanding that that whole industry, the processed foods industry, has been set up to create cravings, right? The natural flavors are not natural. They are set up because it makes you crave more of that. Those tastes, they taste good. Oh, I know they taste good, but they make you crave more of it. And I remember that commercial. What is it? Can't just eat one chip, right? Can't eat just one. And I know that whole game. And so I know that it is a struggle, but I want you to notice for yourself. Like if you didn't change anything, but just noticed the next time you do eat something, how do you feel? Do you feel vibrant and healthy and energized, or do you feel blah, bloated, right? So knowing that that's just the start of it, because there was another study that was done, and this study goes into eating the processed foods. It's linked to more than 10% increase in heart disease and stroke. That enough would make you want to say no, because I've been through folks with heart disease and stroke, and you'd think that would just have you stop right then and there, but it's so addictive that it's so hard for people to say no. And there was another study that showed that eating more than four servings of these foods a day was directly linked to a higher rate of mortality. Okay. Death, right? Not fun. Plus, these foods are linked to gaining weight, not being able to drop the weight, inflammation, chronic pain. This is where we just have to look at this, right? And then we know things like diabetes, heart disease, a whole bunch of other health problems. These are actually preventable from what we eat. I believe the body is so amazing and so resilient. And more than anything, I believe that it deserves good food and good fuel. I've had clients who will invest in their high-performing vehicles and put the best fuel in it and detail it and have it. But then I'll go in and do a pantry clean out or work with them, and I'll see Wonder Bread on the counter. And I'll know we've got to shift some of this. And this comes from an education. There's that comfort food. We grew up with it. So I want you to be gentle with yourself this week. This is the focus this week. I'd love to know your feedback on how are things going for you? Are you experiencing this understanding of, feeling, how do you feel after you eat? And knowing this information now, I really hope that it reframes how you look at how you're fueling your body and that cause and the effect. So you start thinking a little bit more about the processed foods. I know even I'm looking at what's in my freezer, what's in my pantry. Most of the things should be fresh. And I have an awesome community class. So if you aren't part of my Facebook group or subscribe to my lists, make sure you are I should just say. So you can go to yogilachi.com, and two things you could do there. You could either book a 15-minute free session with me. I'm going to do a VIP weight loss jumpstart. I open about 3 spots on my calendar, so you can see there's a spot there. And actually, you can subscribe to my wellness newsletter and tips. I'm in my kitchen teaching you classes on how to do easy meal prep with real and whole foods and easy recipes and delicious, wonderful, natural foods that will nourish you and that restore and repair so that you can show up as the best version of you, right? I want to remind you before I go that change, we have to be patient with ourselves. So knowing that our taste buds, and because our taste buds are so close to our brain, there's not a gap. So if we crave something, there's like instantly our control mechanism of our body, we're going to go do that. We won't stop before we put something in our mouth because the taste buds are controlling. Anyway, I'm being a little facetious, but I'm also wanting you to take away from today that it's going to take some time and it's going to take some patience to change your taste buds and really retrain them, because there's a habit that has been set in place. I've had it too. I sometimes have to do it and reset on a regular basis to retrain those taste buds, but it is definitely worth the effort. Definitely worth you taking the time, because you and your body will be so glad you did. Okay, I hope this helps. Again, I'm Stefana Johnson, and you can find me at yogilachi.com. Hope to see you next time on our Monday morning mentoring. Bye for now.